Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Masterclass on Public Speaking for Lawyers and Academics. This event was organized by the Human Rights Interest Group and is co-sponsored by the New Professionals and Latin American Interest Group. I'm Mariana Hernandez. I am co-chair of the Human Rights Interest Group, and it's my pleasure to introduce you to Melanie Gerner, who will deliver this class. Melanie is a public speaking coach, an international lawyer, and an actress. She helps leaders, professionals, and personal brands to communicate effectively in any scenario. Melanie is also a professor of human rights at the University of Buenos Aires. She has participated in several moot court competitions, and last year she was coach of the team that reached the semifinals of the Inter-American Human Rights Moot Court competition organized by American University. So, Melanie, thank you so much for your time and your effort in preparing this class. And go ahead, the floor is yours.
Hello, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Mariana, for introducing me. Thank you to all of you for being here. It's an honor for me to be sharing this masterclass on public speaking for lawyers and academics with you. Let me tell you that this is not just a masterclass. This is an intellectual and a multisensory experience that requires participatory and it is participatory, so it requires your active participation in it. All of you, are the protagonists of this masterclass, so I kindly invite you to turn on your cameras and to participate in the chat because I will be asking you some questions. We will be sharing thoughts and experiences and making some practical exercises. So let's start. I will share my screen. Tell me if do you see it?
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, welcome. Today I will share with you some key tools to take your public speaking to another level. And so to begin with, I want to reflect together. For you, what makes a speaker a remarkable speaker or a leader? Because a key characteristic of any leader is that he or she is, or at least may be, a remarkable speaker. And for this, I will ask you to take your phones with you, and scan, please, this QR code that will allow you to write 3 words or short phrases that comes to your mind that answer the question on what makes a speaker a remarkable speaker or a leader. You can scan that QR code, or I can share with you the link so that you can open it directly in your computer. There is the link. Funny, connect with audience, convincing, fluency, engaging. Wow. Interesting, eloquent. Eloquence, I love that word. Charisma, something that I love. Storyteller, tone. Wow, let me put it on a big screen. Amazing, memorable, inspiring, convincing, high energy. Yeah, we will talk about that. Tone, persuasion, we will also talk about that. Funny, that's true. Dynamism, purposeful, charming. There are a lot of words. I'm trying to read them all, but whoa. Yeah, all of them, amazing. Fluency, relatable, clear points, vocabulary, emotion. So, wow, there are a lot of characteristics that make a speaker a remarkable speaker, right? And there is a word that I don't know if I have seen here, which is authenticity. Because there is not only one definition of remarkable speaker. All of us can be a remarkable speaker, and all of us have something in specifical that makes us different. And that with all of this and sharing some of these characteristics can make us a remarkable speaker or leader. Excellent. I love all of this. And we are going to see how, in this masterclass, we are going to see how can we turn to be a remarkable speaker using all of this. So I want you now to thank you very much. Thank you very much for sharing all of this. And I want you to answer now, another question, which is, from 1 to 10, how remarkable are you as a speaker? Keep it to you. If you can, write it down on a paper, on your phone, wherever you can. But considering all the characteristics that we mentioned before, considering all of that, from 1 to 10, how remarkable do you think you are as a speaker? Take a time to think about it, be honest with you, and write it down. Who knows how to think, but does not know how to express what she or he thinks, is at the same level as he or she who does not know how to think. Whoa. This phrase by Pericles, who was an Athenian jurist of the 5th century before Christ, is absolutely applicable nowadays. And what this means is that we, as lawyers or as academics, we study for years on end. We know how much we study. But nowadays, specifically in the digital era, if we cannot express, if we cannot communicate with clarity, with persuasion, effectively, if we cannot touch the heart of the audience, then we may be at the same level of someone who does not know. So this is the key importance of communication and of public speaking. Public speaking, for me, is a lifestyle. And it is important for you to know that it is not a gift you are born with. It is a skill that everyone can learn and train for your life, for your professional life, for your academic life, and also for your personal life. And let me tell you, truth be told, that this is not my phrase. Public speaking is a lifestyle. This was not my phrase. This is something that a client of mine said to me because she hired me to help her prepare an interview for the UK Embassy here in Argentina. I don't know if I told you or if Mariana told you that I am from Argentina, and she is a lawyer as well. And so I helped her prepare her interview. This was a very important interview for a scholarship that she was applying for. We worked together for almost 2-3 months. And at the end, the interview didn't take place. And I thought, oh, she may feel so frustrated, right? So upset because she spent a lot of time, energy, even money in preparing this this interview. But surprisingly, when we finished our sessions, our classes together, she was so happy. And she told me, Mel, you know what? I realized that public speaking is a lifestyle. Because even though the interview didn't take place, all the tools that you gave me, all the techniques that I learned with you, I use them in my daily life. I use it talking with my boss, with my work team, giving classes at university, with my mother, with my boyfriend. Now I am conscious on what is my purpose, how to clarify my ideas, how to communicate effectively, how to use my voice, my body language to transmit and to express what I want to express. And that that knowledge, that practice, make me feel very confident. So this is my main aim today, that you, with all these tools, applying all these tools, because public speaking is practice, it's practical, it's not a knowledge that we only have in ourselves, but we have to put it into practice. So my main aim is that you, with all this knowledge, can end up this class feeling more comfortable and more confident while speaking, applying all these tools. So, what are we going to learn today? First, we are going to learn how to speak with confidence, clarity, and persuasion. Then we are going to talk about body language and how to use our body language to transmit security and professionalism. Third, we are going to talk about how to use our voice to sound even more credible. And at the end, for everyone who stay until the end of this masterclass, there is a surprise gift that I am very emotional to give to you. The only thing that I will tell you for now is that it's a personalized gift. So I really hope that you can stay until the end to know what it is and to receive it. Okay, so I don't know, I see a yellow line on the screen. Do you also see that?
Yes, I don't know what is it.
No, it's gone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you. Thank you very much. It was annoying me a little bit. Well, so move on. Let's start from the beginning. Confidence, clarity, and persuasion for effective and professional communication. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to tell that I will be so glad to answer to your questions at the end of the masterclass if there is time left, which I hope there will be, because I cannot present, speak, look to the chat, and all together, okay? So if you have any question, please keep it to you. So at the end of the class, we will be sharing questions and answers, comments, and all what you want, okay? Perfect. Now, coming back to this point, water is so important for every speaker. Take it into account. Let's move on. First, we need to talk about the three main elements of the oratory, which are the speaker, the speech, and the audience. Each of these elements have specific objectives. It's not the same, my objective here as a speaker is not the same that the objective of the masterclass, neither the objective of you, your objectives, that they may be some common objectives and all of you may have your personal one, right? So it is important to bear it in mind and to ask every time you are going to speak or to deliver a speech, what are the objectives of me as a speaker, of the speech, and of the audience? Let's talk about confidence, the main element or the first element, which is the speaker. How can I speak with confidence? How can I gain confidence? And how can I show confidence when I speak? And if we talk about confidence, we have to talk about scenic fear. And we are all in this together, my dear colleagues, because even experienced and renowned professionals feel some kind of nerves, anxiety, or stress before speaking in public. Actually, a study made by LinkedIn suggested that 75% of population feel it. So it is normal, okay? We are all in this together. So I want to share with you some golden keys to deal with the scenic fear and to speak with confidence. First one is accept it. Accept that fear and stress may always be there. Maybe. Okay? Don't fight against it. Accept it. Secondly, focus. Instead on focusing on that nerves, that anxiety, what will the others think about me if my speech is correct, if I don't know, if my clothes are the correct ones. No, no, no. Focus on what matters the most, and that is your ideas and what others learn from you. That is the most important thing. And you have to trust on that. Trust in that, sorry. In your message, in your knowledge, in that message that you want to communicate. And that leads me to the other point, your purpose. What is your why? Why are you communicating? Why are you delivering that speech? Doesn't matter where, in a class, in a conference, in a court, with a client, in a negotiation, doesn't matter. All these tools we are going to learn today are applied, can be applied in any scenario, even in personal scenario. And finally, enthusiasm. You can turn your fear into enthusiasm. All that energy that we feel before speaking before speaking in public, all that stress, that nerves, that emotions, you can focus and concentrate on turning that feelings into enthusiasm for what you are telling. Because remember that enthusiasm is contagious. So if you feel it, the public will always feel it. And you may say, okay, Mel, perfect, but tell me something else. How can I control my fears? Okay, I will give you a practical tool to deal with that. How you can control fear? Remember this, the airplane takeoff rule. And what is that? Is to manage perfectly the first 30 seconds of your speech plus practice, practice, and practice. And why the airplane takeoff rule? Why that name? If you have ever flied in an airplane, you may have feel that the first seconds of the airplane takeoff is like, it's like, whoa, you feel all that pressure, all that emotion, right? Like, oh my God, I'm going to be on the air. And then as the time goes by, you start to relax, right? So speaking in public is the same as the airplane takeoff, because in the first 30 seconds or in the first minute of your speech, you are going to feel most nervous. But as time goes by and you start talking and communicating and connecting with the audience, then you will feel how those nerves or that anxiety, that stress start to go down and to calm down. So if you manage perfectly and if you can memorize only the 30 seconds, the introduction of your speech, you're going to feel more comfortable when you are there, because even though you are nervous, you know exactly how to start. So that will make you feel more confident. Excellent. How are we doing so far? Are you okay?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah? Excellent. Well, nice. Let's continue with the second point, the second element. That is clarity. The speech, our speech, must be clear if we want to communicate effectively and persuasively. Rashika, do you want to say something? No? Okay, you can chat if you want. Speaking correctly is a strategy. And we as lawyers and as academics as well, we know that strategy is important, right? It's crucial for our profession. And this means that if I don't speak clear, because it is very common on us, of course, I include myself in this group. We are all in this together, as I said before, because I'm also a lawyer and an academic. And sometimes we want to show how much we know and how professionals we are by speaking with complex words, with technical language, with long phrases, right? Because we think that way we are going to show our professionalism, our knowledge. But let me tell you that that is not strategical. Because if the audience don't understand me, so they won't think that I am professional, or they won't know how much I know. That is why speaking clear is strategic, is a strategy. Every time you speak, ask yourself, what is the big message? It may be only one main idea. It doesn't matter if you are going to speak for 1 hour, 2 hours. You may only have one big message, only one main idea, which may be the title of that speech or not, okay? But it may be only one idea. If I ask you, for example, what is the main idea of Titanic? For example, to say something. Titanic, well, you may say, you can tell me, what do you think? What is the main idea of Titanic, the movie? I assume you all know that, right?
I think the main idea is that it sank.
Exactly. Or a love story about things. No, only one main idea. So that may happen every time we speak. We may have only one main idea. Remember that less is more. And this is the basic structure of any speech. I know this may look like very obvious, right? But sometimes we forget to apply this. And I will give you some keys, some tools that you can apply to make a structure of a speech that calls the attention, that catch the attention, and that impact. So the two main important moments of any speech are the introduction and the conclusion. And why is that? Because in the introduction, we catch the attention of the audience. In those first seconds or first minutes, the audience will decide consciously or unconsciously if they will pay attention to us or not, if they are going to believe us or not. They are going to prejudge us, because that is something that all humans do. They will think, oh, she is professional, I will hear her. Oh, it doesn't show that she is very confident on what she is saying. Or, oh, I think it's bored. I don't know if I want to hear her with attention. That is something that we can recognize that happens to us when we hear someone, right? So that is why the introduction is so important. And the conclusion, because the last message that we say is the message that the audience will remember the most when they leave, when our speech finish. So in the introduction, try to always catch the attention. I will show you after this slide some attention magnets that you can use to catch and keep and retain the attention of your audience. Then introduce yourself and mention the main points of your speech. This is very important when you are delivering or when you are speaking in any scenario, because when you mention the points, the main points of what is going to happen next, your audience will feel more relaxed because they know what to expect, right? I don't know if you felt that when I showed you at the beginning of the class. Okay, this is the content. Today we are going to learn this, secondly this, and then this. Now you know what is going to happen. So I guess, or I wish that you are relaxed because you know what will happen. Then, in the main body, you should include 3 points. I mean, divide your speech, the main body of your speech, in 3 main points. Maximum 4, but not more than that. Because remember that we are still humans. We are not AI, so our attention is limited with our capacity to retain and to remember information is limited, so less is more. Remember that. Use examples and add, of course, relevant academic and legal quotes to show your professionalism. Use appropriate language, and with appropriate language, I mean read the audience, read the context. It's not the same to deliver a class with undergraduate students than with PhD students, than talking with a judge or talking with a client. Of course, I cannot use the same language if I'm talking with a colleague than if I'm talking with a client that is maybe not a lawyer, so he or she doesn't know many technical concepts or words. So read that, read the audience, and try to simplify complex concepts without losing rigor. And in the conclusion, recap and reinforce the big message. What is that main idea? If you can, make a call to action, which can be, I invite you to do this, I invite you to think about this, to reflect about this, to whatever, but that the audience can say, oh, okay, with this information that person gives me, I can do something. I can apply it. And finish with a powerful message that remember that is what the audience will remember when they leave the room. Now, I want to share with you my secrets that are the attention magnets. These attention magnets can be used not only at the beginning of a speech to catch the attention, but also during the speech to hold that attention, to keep that attention. First one, rhetorical and interactive questions. You may remember that at the very beginning of this masterclass, I asked you 2 questions, right? The first one, what makes a speaker a remarkable speaker? And the other one, from 1 to 10, how remarkable are you as a speaker? Then, fun facts. We all love fun facts. You may remember that I shared with you the LinkedIn study, which says that 75% of population have scenic fear. Storytelling. We all love stories. And you may remember that I told you the story of my client who didn't take the interview in the UK embassy. Analogies, metaphors, or examples. Well, you may remember that I used the airplane takeoff rule as a metaphor. Then visual elements or offsets. This presentation, these slides, is my visual element. And powerful quotes. You may remember that also at the beginning of this class, I share with you the quote by Pericles, the Athenian jurist, right? So I hope that I could catch your attention using all these magnets, and I wish you can also use them and see the impact that they have. So, golden keys to speak with clarity. First one, understanding is the priority always. So adapt the language and use the technical language carefully. Second, short sentences. Use or choose to use short sentences. We do not speak the same way we write. Sometimes, or maybe we write a paper and then we have to present that paper and we think that, okay, I will read it. Well, no. Let me tell you that it does not work like that. We do not speak the same way we write. So take care of how you are going to speak or to explain something that you wrote. Visual support. Visual support that, like this presentation, of course, is very helpful. It's also an attention magnet, but it may be functional. It may not take the protagonism of your presentation, of your speech. If you use it, try to use it carefully and functionally. And last but not least, emphasize the main points, the big message. Repeat and recap only the main ideas. It is not necessary to emphasize or to repeat all the time everything with different words, but the main ideas, I suggest you to repeat them or recap them. Excellent. Or don't. Please do not read or memorize a speech if you want to sound professional. Why? Because you are not going to show your speaking skills. You are not going to connect with the audience. It is boring when we watch someone reading a speech. I know that sometimes we do not have time to prepare it or to practice it, but it's a matter of confidence. So if that's the case, that you do not have time to practice a speech, try not to read it, but to trust you and just explain your ideas. At least you can write the main points or the main subtitles, and then try to speak as naturally as you can about that. And third one, this key element of public speaking, which is persuasion. And when we talk about persuasion, we talk about the audience, right? How can I persuade the audience? And persuasion is to make someone kind of agree with you or make someone do what you want them to do or to think. But not in a bad way, right? It's not that we are manipulating them. No, of course not. It's not the same. It's not the same. We're going to see how to persuade someone. And to talk about persuasion, we need to talk about these two main basic human instincts that we all share. First one is that everyone wants to feel important. And please take this and remember this, because then we are going to see how can we persuade someone by taking these instincts into consideration. First, everyone wants to feel important. And second, the only way to make someone do what you want them to do is to make them desire to do that. So, let me ask you a question. What is the sweetest word you can say to a person? What do you think? Tell me in the chat. I want to read you. What do you think is the sweetest word you can say to a person? Let's see. Excellent. Yeah, someone has another idea? Cindy said their name. Hello, smart, please. Please, thank you and excuse me are the three main words that we learn, right? When we were kids. Well, let me tell you, thank you very much for your opinions. Let me tell you that Cindy was correct. The sweetest word you can say to a person is his or her name. And it may sound very obvious, right? Or very silly, maybe, but we forget how powerful it is to name someone by their names. If we want to connect with that person, if we want something from that person, if it's not the same, if we interact with them without calling them, than if we call their name. So don't underestimate the power of the name. Another point is empathy. And I'm not talking here about empathy as something that, I mean, we can be empathetic or not in our personal life inside of us. We can be or not. But here, what I'm talking about is strategic empathy when you speak. And what is that? It is, first of all, questioning and listening to your audience, active listening. It is said, actually, that a remarkable speaker is that one who listens more and speaks less. That is the importance of active listening. And so when you listen, if you want to empathize with your audience, don't only listen to them, but also try to paraphrase what they say and to add it to your speech, to make them feel important, to make them feel that what they said is important and that you are taking that into account. Also, smile. And yeah, I know we sometimes think that to look professional than to show our authority in some topic, in a place, in a courtroom, or in a class, we associate seriousness with professionalism, right? Sometimes. But let me tell you that to be a remarkable speaker, we should smile. And I remember that when we share what was for us a remarkable speaker, what characteristics they have, many of you said fun, funny, charismatic, right? And what is that? Well, mainly is smile. Smiles, it was scientifically proved that has a lot of good effects in relationships. I'm not going to name all of them, but I just want to tell you that a smile is key, is crucial to generate a connection with someone, to generate confidence. So don't forget to smile whenever you can, at least at the beginning or at the end of your presentation. Then, and this, of course, in a respectful way, and it depends on the context of the audience, but some physical contact, like touching the shoulder of someone, may also feel or create a connection with the audience in general, like that you are close to them. Complicit look also, as we are here, we have a screen that separates us. But if not, I would like to look to all of you into your eyes, and I'm sure that looking into your eyes, you may feel more connected with me. As I cannot do that what I'm doing, I don't know if you notice, is that I am looking most of the time to the lens of the camera. And you may feel that way, that I am looking to you, that I am looking to your eyes. That's the intention that I have. And last but not least, inclusion. Include your public, include your audience into what you are saying. Emotional connection. Emotional connection is essential to persuade. Why is that? Because we are emotional animals who think. We are not rational animals who feel. And what does this mean? You may be thinking. Well, according to psychologist Daniel Kahneman, who won a Nobel Prize, and also to many other psychologists and other professionals who have been studying our behavior, human behavior, all agree nowadays that the emotional part, the emotional system of our brain controls the rational way. So we usually, as lawyers and as academics, we choose to use more rational arguments, right? To explain using laws, papers, scientific information, technical data, and whatever. And of course, that is important, of course. But if we want to persuade someone, never forget that you are not going to convince them only by using rational arguments. Instead, you are going to convince them or to persuade them by using emotional tools, by talking about stories, about people, about feelings. That is the best way that they will understand or catch your idea or your argument. And I want to give you this book recommendation. One, these are amazing, awesome, two of my books that I love. And it is both for lawyers and academics, but for all. I mean, they can be used for everything, but especially for us as lawyers and academics, they are very useful. One is Never Split the Difference, with 9 rules to negotiate, or Rompe la barrera del no in Spanish. And the other one, which is for persuasion and leadership tools, is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. The other one is by Chris Voss. If you are interested in these topics, I highly recommend you these books. Okay, so golden keys about persuasion. Remember that your audience is the protagonist of the story. We do not speak for us. We speak for our audience, right? We speak to transmit, to express our thought, our ideas, our message to the audience. Remember always the sweetest word, what is the name? Empathy, put yourself in the other person's shoes if you want them to connect with you. And always remember to make an emotional connection with them. What emotion or feeling I want to generate? Always ask that. Excellent. And now, before moving on to body language, how are we doing? Fine? Are we all okay?
Yes. Oh, good.
Yeah? Right. Perfect. Well, body language. Now, I want to ask you something. Which one? I want you to make a ranking, of these 3 elements of message. Oh. Which one do you give more importance to when speaking? I want you to please tell me in the chat in order 1, 2, 3. Which one do you give more importance to? In order. Let's see. Body language, voice, words, say Kadian, great. Body language, voice, words, Kristen, excellent. Body language, Rashika, well, excellent. Body language, voice, words, voice, body language, words, well, excellent. Many of you give priority to body language, excellent. Voice, body language, words, voice, body language, words, words, body language, voice, well, excellent. Many of you, as I imagine, give priority to words, right? Because it's something instinct. It's an instinct that we have. We think that what we are saying is the most important. More important, the what, that, the how, right? Well, excellent. Thank you all for participating. I love reading you. Well, for all of those who think that the words or who give more priority to the words rather than to the other elements, let me tell you that our message is composed of this in this percentage, according to psychologist Albert Mehrabian. When we speak, when we talk, 7% of our message is our words, is what we say. 38% is our voice, how we use our voice to transmit that message. And 55% is body language. So all of those who in the chat said that you pay more attention, that it was first in the ranking, body language, great, great. Of course, all of this is important. But this is to tell you or to think, to reflect together that when we speak, we pay so much attention to words and we may not think on how are we going to say that message, to deliver that words. And actually, this is what matters the most. So, how to show security and credibility with our body language, considering that it is so important. First, I will give you, after this, some tools or techniques on how can you use your body language, specifically your posture, your hands, and your look, to transmit security and credibility. And why is that? Because I want you to be conscious of that and to order your body to look confident, even if you are not. I mean, even if you're feeling nervous, I want you to order your body to look confident, because that way you are going to start to feeling confident. So a confident body will start to create a confident mind, and that will make an effective communication because you are going to feel confident and to transmit confidence when you speak. Let's start with the posture. It may be obvious, but the posture may always be upright. So stay there where you are. Please do not move. Do not move and check. How is your posture right now? How is your back? How is your head? How are your shoulders, your legs, your foot? Well, and now, there where you are, I want you to think, to imagine that there is a thread up of your head. I don't know if you see me. Imagine that there is a thread a thread and that someone pulls that thread up. So you will feel, try it please, and you will feel how your head direct the rest of your body. And if you imagine that, your posture will be now upright and correct. And that is the right posture to use whenever you are, or seated or standing. Always remember the thread, okay? And from that position, from that posture, you can move and you are going to look more confident. Now, your hands. The hands are visual illustrators. Many people think that they may not use their hands. Like, oh no, I don't want to use my hands because I'm going to distract the people. And well, let me tell you, it's not like that. The hands are visual illustrators. Actually, there are more connections between our brain and our hands than with any other part of our body. So that is why we naturally move our hands when we speak. Now, it is important to know that we are naturally programmed to read body language. So why we said before that body language is even more important than words? Because if my words are saying something, but my body is telling the contrary, you are going to believe my body language and not my words. And then I will show you an example of that. But, so, let's pay attention to how can we use our body language consciously to transmit what we want to transmit. So if we want to transmit confidence, I suggest you to show your open hands, because this means I have nothing to hide. I have nothing to hide. I am, you can trust me. You can trust me. So you may see that many presidents, when they speak, they show their hands. And it's because of that. Of course, they know what this transmit. Another gestures, of course, there are a lot, right? There are a lot, and this is not like an exact science. Of course, that gestures or body language may be written in a specific context and in conjunction with other gestures, right? But for example, if you want to emphasize, you can use this gesture. If you are in a negotiation, for example, and you want to show authority, also you can place your hands like this to support your opinion or your idea. Or if you want to insist on an idea or to insist or reinforce that idea, well, you may use this gesture, but only in that place, right? You are not going to speak all the time like this. Another one, which is not here, but I want to tell you because it's one that I use a lot, is numbering. When you talk, if you want to mention point 1, point 2, point 3, it is very useful, and I really recommend you to use your hands for that. Some gestures that I don't recommend you to use. To point out, it was proven, Alan Pease, who is a non-verbal language expert, made a study in which he found out that when a speaker speaks using this finger pointing out, the audience don't receive that message so well. Other gesture that I don't recommend you to do is to hide your hand, because of what I was telling you before, that contrary to show your hands and open hands, which means confidence, if you hand your hands, it may show that you are nervous, that you have something to hide, maybe, that you are not secure, and that's why you want to hide your hand. So it is an unconscious gesture or act that we do, right? When we feel like that. But remember that the audience will read that body language and will interpret that body language. So let's use our body language to show what we want to show. And also try not to speak all the time with your hands downward for the same reason that we said before. What about the look? Well, as I told you before, I was looking to the lens of the camera because I'm trying to feel you connected with me, to trust me, because it seems like I'm looking to your eyes. So when you are making a video call, I recommend you, or if you are making a video, I recommend you to always look at the lens of the camera. If you are talking to a person, look them to the eyes. And if you are talking to a big audience, well, always include all the audience. Look the entire audience. And if there is a lot of people, so try to look by sectors, right? Like to the right, then to the center, to the back, to the front, to the other side, to the left. And so try to switch between watching to one side, watching to the other, so that every person feels included in your speech. What I don't recommend you to do is, if you are in a scenario, do not look at the fixed point on the horizon. Try not to do that. Try not to look down, not to look up or to the or aside. Of course, if you are thinking of something, because sometimes it happens when you think and like you look up, but then come back, or at least be conscious of that. Be conscious of where are you looking to. This is so important because when we feel insecure, when we feel nervous, what do we usually do? We try to apart our look, right? We do not want to look into the eyes of the person or to the public, right? We look the audience and it's like, oh my God, there is a lot of people. I don't want to look at them. And what we do is look to a fixed point on the horizon. But guess what? I won't be showing confidence, professionalism, or credibility because I will look insecure that way. So now I invite you to make a practical activity, but for this, I need you to turn on your cameras. Would you like to turn on your cameras to do this exercise? It will be very fun. Of course, I don't want to blind you. Oh, I see there are many cameras on. Right. Who else want to turn on your cameras? Oh, excellent. Oh, I'm so glad that you're turning them on. Thank you. Lovely. Well, I will tell you what is this exercise about. It is called Act If. Say it with body language. So now I will be telling you, act like blah, blah, blah. Act like something, okay? And I want you to act like that with your body language and to do what do you think that transmit that emotion or that feeling or that state that I will tell you, okay? Okay, do you understand? Perfect. I love it. Yeah, more cameras on. Hi, Miriam, Kadian. Well, so act if the judge is speaking and you are fully concentrated? How will it be? Excellent, Daniel, saying yes with your head. Excellent, accepting, yeah. Yeah, you look very concentrated, Luciana, with the hand there, like, yeah, I agree with you. Excellent. Yeah, perfect. Right. Also, Aaron there with the hand, like, this shows, like, yeah, I'm paying attention, right? I'm thinking of what you're telling me. Excellent. Now, active, you are listening to a conference speaker who is very tedious and you are falling asleep. Yeah. Caleb is about to to sleep in 2 seconds, right? Yeah, how it is. Oh yeah, Mariana looking down like, oh my God, how will it end? Yeah. Yeah, well, look how your body language speaks a lot. Excellent. Now, active, the opposing counsel is presenting questionable evidence and you do not agree with what he is saying because you know that he is lying. So you do not agree with him. Yeah. Yeah. Excellent. Yeah. That questionable look. I see it. Excellent. Excellent. And now, this is the last one. Act if you are relaxed and enjoying this masterclass. I love that one. Great. Well, bravo. Bravo for you. Excellent. What I wanted to show you with this is that our body language speaks a lot, even when we are not speaking, even when it's not our time to speak, we are listening, but at the same time, we are speaking, we are communicating, we are always communicating with our body language. So take that in mind, yeah? And remember that as you can, now that you are conscious about that, try to control it. Try to, okay, show what you want to show. Maybe I don't agree with you, but instead of being like this and crossing my arms and watching you like this, I will be like, okay, yeah, I will pretend and I smile and I hear you because I'm listening to you and I know how to contradict the questionable evidence that you are presenting. So, yeah, fine, tell me more about that. You know what I mean? Like, control that. Be conscious of that, what I am communicating, even when I'm not speaking. So let's move to the other element that is also very important, which is our voice. We talked about words, body language, and now the voice. How can I sound more credible? First, it is important to listen to you. If you send, voice notes, listen to them. If you are preparing a class or if you are recording a video, watch it. Self-observation and self-hearing is crucial to know how you are speaking and to know what to reinforce, what to change, what to do more or to do less to sound credible or to communicate confidence and credibility. So these are the 4 elements of our voice. If we want to sound credible, our intensity should be energetic. And by energetic, I don't mean shouting. No, of course not. I mean energetic, not like this. Not like if I'm bored or if... Do you see how it changed? Imagine if I talk to you like this. Well, where my dear colleagues, to sound more credible, you need to use your voice in a way. You see, imagine if I talk to you like that. And now I am talking in an energetic way. I am transmitting you also enthusiasm for this because I am passionate about this topic. And I really want you to learn and to also be passionate about this. The tone. The tone may be low if you want to sound credible. Sometimes, and specifically, when we end an idea or when we end a sentence, it's not the same if I tell you that voice is very important, that if I tell you voice is very important. Do you see the difference? If I go up, voice is very important. Voice is very important. There, when I use a low tone, it sounds much more credible, right? Much more powerful. Duration. The duration, it may be relatively slow. Of course, not in slow motion, but relatively slow so that you can think and the audience can catch your message, reflect, process, and think. And also because it shows that you can manage the speech. When you speak slow, you show that you are comfortable there. Because many times we speak very quick because we want that speech to end. It's like, oh, I want to run. I don't want to be here. I don't want to speak. So I will speak very quickly so that it ends up as soon as possible. Okay, that is not the effect that I want to generate, right? And last but not least, the timbre. It is very important to modulate. Open your mouth wide and pronounce each word properly if you want to be understand it. And as well as the voice is important, silence is also essential when we speak. And why is that? Well, first, because we can listen. When we make silence, we can listen and remember that a remarkable speaker is an excellent listener. Also, to emphasize, when you make a silence before and after a powerful idea, you will emphasize it. For example, silence is very important. Did you see it? Did you see how it sounds more, powerful? It is important, yeah. Also, to call the attention. Because when you make a silence, the audience will be like, okay, what is next? What is he or she going to say now? So silence also call the attention. Moreover, to reflect you and to let the audience reflect. Don't be scared of silence. We are very scared of silence. But no, trust me that if you can manage the silence, you will be perceived as very professional, as very credible, as a remarkable speaker. And last, to avoid crutches. Crutches are like words or just tones or things we said that have not sense. They do not have any sense. They shouldn't be there. Okay, so how can I avoid a crutch? By making silence. And why is it important? Because we make crutches, we say crutches, when we are nervous, often. When we are nervous, we start to, so try to avoid them by making a silence. And this is what I wanted to show you. I want to show you in practice how important it is our voice and body language to transmit what we want to transmit. Because imagine that I come here and I say, hello everyone, my name is Melanie and I am very confident. I am the best public speaking coach that you will meet. I have a lot of experience and I am really confident of myself because I know I am excellent in what I do. And so, well, I hope that I can help you with this class because I know a lot about public speaking. Do you believe me? No, right? Would you hire me? No, right? But now, imagine this. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am very nervous today. I feel so anxious, so stressed, and I do not know anything about public speaking. Believe me, I do not know anything about public speaking. I am just delivering this masterclass just because. But trust me, I can change your life. You know, I can change your life. I know how to. Even though I have zero knowledge on public speaking, I can teach you how to speak like a leader. And now, would you hire me? Did you believe me? Kristen said, so. But what I wanted to show you is that my words were saying something, but my voice and my body language were transmitting the contrary. And what do you believe most? My voice and my body language rather than my words, right? I think that it was more clear in the first case, in which I was saying, oh, I am very confident, I know a lot about this. But if my voice and my body language is showing you or communicating the contrary, you will always trust my voice and my body language rather than my words. That is why that is so important. Well, there are 2 messages. Great masterclass. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Miriam. Thank you, Rashik, as well. Well, we are reaching the last part. We are finishing this masterclass. And I have a surprise gift for you, as I told you. For all who attended the live class until the end, which I thank you so much. And the surprise gift is a personalized feedback on your public speaking and how to enhance it. I would love to make it alive. I would love to hear you all here and give you feedback, personalized feedback live. But of course, we are a lot. We are almost 50 people in this courtroom and we are running out of time. I really would love to, but as it is not possible, but I really want to give to you this, I will ask you to send me a presentation video and I will send you a personalized feedback on your video, on your public speaking, and how can you enhance it. So these are the indications. You can take a picture if you want so that you have them. The video, the duration of the video may be 1 minute in a vertical format, the cell phone in a vertical format. of your full body so that I can also look and pay attention to your posture, to the use of your hands, etc. The topic is whatever you want about you. It can be your work, hobbies, family, childhood, your cat, your dog, whatever you want to tell me. You will send it by email. There is my email. Now I will send you on the chat all my personal details so that you can also contact me and we keep in touch. In the body of the email, please add your name and your phone number so that I can send you a voice note giving you feedback. And the deadline for sending the presentation video is next Thursday, May 19. 99, sorry. 29, sorry. No, I talked a lot. May 29. So you have 1 week to record the video and send it to me. Do not overanalyze it, okay? I just want to know how you speak, the way you speak, and to tell you how you can enhance that speaking. So now I want to ask you, from 1 to 10, how remarkable do you think that you can be as a speaker applying all the tools of this masterclass? Keep it to yourself and write it down. Watch the number that you gave to you at the beginning of the class, and I hope that that number increases now that you have more tools. So, to all of you, thank you very much. It was an honor for me to share all these experiences and tools with you. Thank you for participating and for being here. And here are my contact details that I will share with you as well on the chat so that you can contact me there if you have any questions, if you have any comments, or also to share me your videos. You, of course, can do it. Thank you, guys. I hope you enjoy it. Do we? There are my contact details so that you have them at hand. So I think that we have some time left for questions, right?
Yes.
Excellent. We have almost 12 minutes. Yes, Cindy, of course. I look forward to your video, to all your videos. Really. I mean, I'm honest. I'm saying this to you. It's not a compromise for me. Of course not. I really want to see you, to watch you, and to giving you personalized feedback. So any of you have any questions, any comments that you want to share or to ask? I will stop presenting.
Will this slides be available?
Aaron, yes, of course, I can share that with you. I will ask then Rita of all your emails if you agree, if that is possible, and I can share it to all of you, to all of the registered persons here. Yeah, of course. Someone else? Do you have any question? Something you want to share? They can hear us how to increase the variety of the voice. What do you mean with that, DK? Do you want to turn on your microphone? I mean, of course. Okay, versus monotone. Yeah, excellent. It's a very good question. What I recommend you is to play and to imagine that you are speaking very happily, that you are very happy and outstanding. And it's like, I will tell you this. And try to do that even though you are not going to speak that way, maybe in your speech. But if you want to vary your tone and to do not speak monotone, try to think of emotions. How can I say this in a happy way? How can I say this in a sad way? How can I say this in an upset way? So you are going to see, working on that and changing the emotion, how your voice changes. Do you think that I answered your question, DK? It is useful for you? I need to leave now. Okay, thank you, Mariana. Ewelson, I am based in Argentina, but I work with people from all over the world remotely. So if you want, of course, you can contact me. Cindy, you have your hand up. Tell me. Hi, Cindy, how are you?
Hi, good. How are you? Thank you so much for this.
Thank
I had a
you.
question about some of your recommendations for connecting with audiences. So some of them I can very much understand how they would operate in like a smaller group or one-on-one with things like questioning, active listening, and paraphrasing. But when you're presenting to a large group, 100 or a few hundred people or more, what are some techniques for getting a similar impact where you can't necessarily engage with individuals one-on-one from that standpoint?
Excellent question, Cindy. Well, one technique that I use is, for example, ask questions and ask the people to raise their hands. For example, so it is not necessary that they speak, because of course, if there are a lot of people, it will be difficult. But you can ask them questions. Of course, think strategically. What is your main idea about? What is your speech about? And how can you make them think about themselves, about their experience, about their feelings? And look, for example, is something is what I did. If you remember, I asked you at the beginning, from 1 to 10, how remarkable are you as a speaker, right? And it was for you. And then at the end, I ask you the same question. So what I wanted with that is to connect, is for you to connect with me and to connect with yourself. And so that is a tool that you can also use alive with an audience. And you can ask, for example, do you think you are a remarkable speaker? Raise your hand. Who are? Maybe not a lot of people will raise their hands. But at the end, if you ask the same question, maybe more people will raise their hands. Just an example. And another tool to connect with people is by telling stories. I would have loved to tell you more about storytelling, strategic storytelling. Of course, we do not have enough time for everything I would love to share with you. But when we use stories, when we talk about stories, people connect instantly. When we talk about feelings, when we talk about experiences, we are like a mirror to our audience. So the audience will be identified with us or the main character of our story. And you can say it, or you can talk about that with one person, two, or hundreds, and you will connect. Exactly. Strategic storytelling can be a single masterclass. Well, maybe we will organize a strategic storytelling masterclass soon. But yeah, I will recommend you that, Cindy. But I will think if I remember if I can find any other techniques, and then if you send me a message or an email, I can tell you more. Excellent. Thank you very much for your question, Cindy. Someone else? Any other question or comment? Do you want to share your experience? Luciana.
Hi, thank you very much, Melanie. I'm also from Argentina, so nice to.
Oh, nice.
I wanted to ask you, what would you recommend? You gave techniques as to how to, sound calm, but if you don't start like that and you suddenly you see yourself in the middle of your speech and you start rushing, and what is a sort of technique to reset and to try and, calm again and just get, I'm not saying at the very beginning, but it may be in the middle of another intervention. What would you recommend in that situation?
Excellent, excellent question, Luciana. Thank you very much. Always be honest. I mean, if you don't have the answer, or if you forgot what you were saying because you went blank, because it's something that's something that can happen. Remember that if we try to lie, or if we try to hide that, our body language will start to speak for us. So be honest, breathe, calm down. Remember that silences are not our enemy. So make a silence. Take a water. This is another element that you can use if you are nervous or if you do not know how to reply or if you need more time to think. Nobody will think, oh, look at Luciana. She is drinking water. Oh, no, nobody. Like it's natural. And so you can use that strategically to calm down and think. And be honest. Well, I do not know if I have the answer for your question, but what I can tell you is blah blah blah. And you tell another thing. And also remember that then nobody will remember about that. I mean, everyone will forget that situation. If you make a good speech, a good presentation, and you have only one moment in which you feel nervous or you went blank, it's not something that will be like the most important thing in your presentation. I mean, it's not what the people will remember, right? The audience is not our enemy. You may sometimes I saw presentations in which, for example, the speaker forgot what to say or make a mistake, and the audience start to applause. Have you seen that? Sometimes it happens. Like the audience, like, you can do it. Like, we are with you. We are not your enemy, right? So always think of that. That it's not so bad. Nothing wrong will happen. It will all be okay. Breathe, think, trust you, and be honest. That will be my recommendation.
Gracias.
Gracias, Luciana. We have one more minute. Someone else would like to ask or say something? Diana! There is Diana. Diana is my soulmate. She is my best friend, and I didn't expect her to be here. Thank you so much. Well, if there are no more comments or questions, even though remember you have all my contact details, so if you have any question or comment, you can send it to me. Please remember to send me your videos. I will be so glad to watch them and to give you personalized feedback. Thank you very much, Mariana, Brita, Shamey, all of you, and to all of you, of course, who are the protagonists of this masterclass, for sharing with me. I I'm very, extremely happy of sharing this moment with you.
Melanie,
Mariana?
thank you so much for this wonderful presentation. I'm sure we all learned a lot of tools that we can start applying from today. Personally, I love the airplane takeoff rule and the importance of silence. I think I'm going to apply them from today. And I hope we can see you again and have that another masterclass. We have a lot of participants today. So thank you so much. Thank you also to the Human Rights Interest Group, the Latin America Interest Group, and the New Professionals Interest Group for co-hosting this session, and to Jimmy, Brita, and Taylor for arranging this session. So we hope to see you again. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you all.
Bye. Thank you.